So, before I start, I really want to share something, a dream that I had. I've had this type of dream sort of 3 times, and with such an intensity that all the other 2 times I've had this type of dream, they've been fulfilled. They've come to happen. And the last one I had of this type was in 2013. I came back to the UK, having met Neville Johnson over in America, and had this dream. Wrote it out, sent it to Neville, and Neville said, send it out. So I did, and I was very obedient to that. I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to be obedient, so I did. And everything that I was showing in that dream came about. Everything, apart from the last bit, which was personal to me. And again, this dream is in 3 parts, as it was in that day. I'm just going to give it to you. I mean, Neville said, just give it as it was. And I'm going to give it to you because in the dream, I was interpreting it. And I was seeing exactly what it was meaning. Because the big question is, that we're all asking, is where are we in God's time? Where are we? And that's been on my mind. It's been with my friends, and we were talking with that to the guys in Boise in Idaho. We was talking to that with Mark Johnson and Jose and Stella when I was with them in February in Australia. And we said, where are we in God's timepiece? And if you remember, I came back and I told you this. Now, I'm just qualifying. I said that things are going to start in September, and that's the same time as Rosh Hashanah, the chief of all feasts, and then we have Yom Kippur. So it's a changing of a season. It's going to start then. I believe, with all of my heart now, that we're going to see the white horse rider start coming forth. I'm saying that categorically because of what I had on Monday night. Now, I shared this with the Bible study group. We finished the book of Revelation. We have gone and read every word from chapter 1 to chapter 22. We've read every word. So thank you all those people. I know there's Penelope, she's watching, and a few others that have joined us from around the world on this Bible study. There's Caroline and Richard here, and so many people from here in Sheffield. But we've had lots of people. Now, I'm going through it and putting them all on again now with new revelation onto the Company 42 app. So here it is, folks. I'm going to give you as I saw it in this dream. I was speaking at a conference, and there wasn't many people there. Number one, there wasn't many people there. Now, I had a joke and a laugh with Richard, but there was a seriousness to my laughing and joking with Richard before we even started. Because of this dream, there's an urgency in me now, more and an intensity more than I've ever known. And in this dream, what happened was I was speaking at a small conference, a remnant. I was speaking to a remnant company of people, and I'm looking into the camera, so I'm speaking to you today. And anybody watching this later on in the week. And in this dream, I was up on the stage and I was going through like 6 A4 pieces of paper. 4 of them, and we all know what number 6 means. Yes, 6 is the number of man. And as I was going through it, I was asking the folks 2 questions. Where are we in God's timing? And when will it all start? So when will the last 7 years start? And I said, I'm not going to tell you my thoughts. I'm going to give you the calculations of Einstein. He has written out 4 pages of all these calculations to give us the answer. And I didn't know the answer. In the dream, I didn't have a clue. I was just saying this. And then I went and looked at the 4 pieces of paper that all had his, as you would see with a blackboard, all these huge calculations. Everything was on it. I'm not a mathematician, but it had all these calculations. And then I said, look, I'm not going to go through all the 4 pages of how he gets to the answer. Let's go to the answer. Do you want to know what it is? And everyone goes, yeah. I turned to the answer, and it was 23. Of 4 pages of calculations, and it came to the number 23. I knew immediately what that meant. 2023. Then he did, and I said, I'm not bothered about, look, I'm going to give you one of the best mathematicians, one of the best minds that's ever been, and his answer is 23. And I go, wow, it's starting this year. And then by the way, I'm in a place called Morning Star, Rick Joyner's place. I'm in his place giving this message. We all know what Morning Star is. It's the planet Venus, which is the first star to rise up in the morning. And it's named that the morning star is Jesus. He's known as, he even calls himself, I'm the morning star, the first to rise. So this is where well, anyway, I won't go into that part, but I'll let you interpret that part. So I'm at Rick Joyner's place, Morning Star. And I walk out, and I've been there. I walk out their foyer area, and they had this old, huge tower complex. It used to be part of this huge complex that a famous evangelist had who fell and went to prison for corruption and all the rest of it. Disrepute, and then Rick Joyner's lot bought the whole site. And they were going to develop this tower. And I walked out expecting to see the tower there, but I didn't. I saw this huge, I mean, if you look at a tower like a skyscraper, I don't know about you, but my feet itch. That's high. If I go climbing and I look down and I'm single pitch, my bum itches. It's high. It's like, yeah. So I'm just making it real. And I looked at this, and this is what happened to me. I went, oh, wow. But it wasn't the old building that I expected to see. Now listen to me. Red brick speaks, for us, real red brick. If you as you drive to Manchester Airport and you see those big warehouses that were built in the Victorian times, it's that type of brick, really old brick. And it was bright red. What's red represent? War. It's war. It's the red horse. It's the red horse, war. And I looked at this building, and it was huge, but it was shaped like a vase. So it was flat there, and it bowled out like that, and it came up like that, and then it bowed out, just like a vase. But it reminded me of the old English windmills, that sort of shape, and it was huge. Then I looked up and I saw right at the top that the ramparts had fell into disrepair and had crumbled, and I'm thinking, wow. And by the way, there was no entrance. There was just one door, but I couldn't see it. There was no windows in it. It was just basically meant to go in and up to the top. Bit like Noah's Ark. And that's what went through me, is Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark, when the doors closed, he had one window staring straight up into heaven. This was the same sort of feeling as in the days of Noah. This is the feeling that I got. And I thought, oh my word, we need to get up to the top there, because we need to repair the watchman's tower that's fallen into decay. It's crumbling. We need to repair it and get people up there as watchmen and watchwomen on the ramparts. We need to start doing that. And then I looked into this black bin, and I looked to the bottom of it. Now I love animals. I love lizards. Because I was born in Africa, I used to catch them, bring them home, get a spanking from my mum because I used to frighten my sisters with them. These big old things like blue scoops, and we have geckos, and I used to catch them all. And snakes, and I used to bring them home, and I used to get such a beating because I used to frighten my sisters with them. And I look at the bottom of this black bin. And in the bottom of it, there was this blue haze, like a blue dust at the bottom. But it wasn't bright, it was dusty, it was dirty. And I'm thinking, there's a lizard down there. And I looked at the lizard and I couldn't recognize it. So I scooped into the bottom. It was the only thing in this dustbin was this lizard, or what was in there. And I thought, oh, that's a skink. I know what that one is. That's a blue-tongued skink in the bottom. Now, Josh and I, we petted one when we went to one of the islands a long time ago. So we know about the blue-tongued skink. Beautiful. I wanted to get one when I came back. So they're absolutely beautiful with this beautiful dark blue tongue. What does that represent? The blue is prophetic. The tongue is where we speak. It's been put in a dustbin. The true prophetic isn't coming out. It's been dirtied and sullied in the dustbin and made like the dust of the earth. And I knew I had to clean it up, so I brought out the skink and I had a bottle of water. And I started cleaning the skink up and its bright, shiny coat came out. And I thought, that's great, it's restored. The true prophetic is going to be restored. Out of the dustbin, into the light, to shine with the light of the sun. It was glistening on its skin. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. And as I'm going through the dream, I'm getting interpretation. I didn't need to interpret it. It was there. And there was just so much in it that me and Heidi are still processing it. So what does it mean? Folks, I'm telling you now. I'll stare in the camera. I won't stare at Rich. I'll stare at the camera. But things are going to happen this year. It's this year that things are going to start. 2023. Einstein, the brain of scientists. If you were to name the most brilliant mind, most of us would come up within the top 5 as Einstein has been one of those top 5 minds that's ever been. Top mathematician, top scientist. And it's not my workings, it's his. Who's the top mind? Who's the mastermind of all things? He is. He's the one that can work it all out. He's the one that's, he's the father of scientists. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's Father God that's done all the workings out, and he's telling his people, get ready. So I don't know about you, but it's already happened in parts of Europe. Heidi was telling me it's already happened in Spain. But we're being told today that at 3 o'clock, every phone in the UK is going to go out with a practice alert. Red alert on your phone. Why? That's not rocket science, is it? Because the government know that something might happen. Very quickly, very suddenly, we might have something raining down on us. Let's get real. Let's wake up and smell, the roses. So I've suddenly come to the conclusion that not many people are ready for this. I'm telling you, not many of us are ready. How much food have you got? Because this is what the Bible says. This isn't Andy Tiplady coming out with some fluff. The white horse rider goes forth to do what? To conquer conquering. The red horse, the fiery red horse goes out to what? Take peace from the earth. War. This is what Jesus said in Wars and Rumors of Wars. This is all before the midpoint of the Great Tribulation. When Jesus warns us, when you see the man of perdition stand up in that temple and cause the abomination of desolation, he then says, get out. Don't go back for your coat, run for the hills. Because folks, as I said as I've been going through the book of Revelation, when this wars and rumors of war starts, it's then going to lead with the black horse rider going forth. Horses are fast and they are strong. This is going to happen very quickly with such an intensity, it's going to take your breaths away. And you guys know it. It's still going to take your breaths away. Oh, we shouldn't have got involved in this. Well, no, we are involved. It's called world war. We will. This is a world war. Look what's happening out in the Middle East and North Africa. Look what's happening out there as we speak. Israel are on high alert. Hezbollah and Hamas on two fronts. Could this be the Psalm 83 war breaking out? If you're a preterist, you said it would have already happened. Well, it's both and. Yes, it has happened, but didn't take out the surrounding nations, those group of people in Psalm 83. So we've been answering a lot of these questions as we do the Bible study. Zechariah 14, Zechariah 12. Is it the same war? No, it's not. Is Ezekiel 38? No, that's the same one as Zechariah 12. It's different from Psalm 83. It's all, you've got to do the study yourself. You've got to sit down and do the workings out. Don't read anybody books. Don't read the commentaries. Allow the Holy Spirit to speak to you. And so when the black horse goes out, it brings famine. And when your body is not getting nutrition, you're open to all sorts of diseases and et cetera, and then the green horse, the pale green grey horse, which is the color of death. When a body lies in the street or in the field or in the bush, it goes a green color and a grey color as it starts to decompose. So folks, that brings disease and death. And this is before the midpoint. Because the fifth seal is martyrdom. As I've sat here or stood here, just in Nigeria, 8 people have been killed for their faith in Nigeria. Not even thinking about North Korea, China, Pakistan, India. Martyrdom is happening as we sit here, as you listen to me. But this is what I'm trying to get to, is folks, God has a body of people. They're going to be the answer to this. They're going to have significant answers to these problems that the world is going to see. And you need to know them because they're going to be hammering at your door and at my door. Because where do you get this in other places, in other churches? Is the book of Revelation being preached? Is the book of Daniel being preached? Is the book of Ezekiel, Zechariah 12 being preached? No, I haven't heard it. But this is why I'm going through this, what we've just done over at the communion. And I'll get into this. So this is why I've been going through. We've got to be deepening our relationship with the Lord. More than at any point now, we've got to start learning Psalm 91. That's going to be our psalm because we're going to go to battle. I'm not talking about a militia. I'm talking about a body of people that are going to be trained and equipped for the last Armageddon war against the Antichrist. There's going to be a body of people that have to get ready. There's an urgency now. And for me there is. There's an urgency. So, first, we're going through the ketubah, the ancient custom of Jewish weddings. What they drew up in the ketubah, which is a covenant. And God is constantly making a covenant and renewing that covenant. When he renews it, it doesn't replace the old covenant. He just renews it. And that's what the New Testament is. It's renewed covenant. Doesn't replace the Old Testament. If you go back on the talks, it renews the covenant God made. This is going to end in a marriage. And I want to be a body of people that are ready, that are preparing ourselves in these last 7 years that will soon be upon us. And as I've said before, listen, this isn't doom and gloom. We're going to see the King of Kings. And what brings the 21 judgments on the earth? Prayers of the saints. It's our prayers. This is why we need to be on that watchtower. This is why we need to be repairing it and getting people up there with a harp and bowl. We need to start doing it and start calling it out. I'm calling it out today. I'm sounding the alarm. I'm blowing the horn. Now, this is either me completely lost the plot and I am crazy, or it's God, but I'm just giving it to you as I saw it.